So to be completely present here is all that's asked, in fact. So I looked at the idea of trust. That was one of the basic topics that I put down on the menu, so to speak, and that's really lovely to take a look at how the stages are in which you sink into a deeper and deeper, say, level of trust in yourself, in how this works for you, and basically in, say, staying in your willingness of this one purpose. So, since we're so active in doing this, I think when you read that, maybe do that for the next time. Read the part about trust. It's in. I will read some of it today too, but it is in our text. What was it? Page 425. Trust. What are the characteristics of God's teachers? See, and now actually today I want to take a look at this idea of teaching, or a miracle worker, or say, to get into the idea of practitioner and teacher. See, I want to share with you what I read today, or what I listened to today by editing chapter 14 or 15, what is it? 16, sorry. 16, chapter 16. The magnitude of holiness. 16c, that's on page 162. What is given there is really good to hear for you, for me, for us in this, because it actually tells you exactly what your position is in this whole setup that you're in, and then you see, like, oh, that's great to have some clarity about that, so that you know which part, which is your part, and which is, say, your holiness part. By having clarity about that, you actually have a possibility to sink into a deeper trust, because you see that you can completely rely on this holiness that's doing the work for you. And at the same time, you see things happen that is happening because you are there, because you are actually aware of the possibility of it. I think that's the most basic, say, bottom line of what we're looking at today. And it is so appropriate because you have no idea what's been given you. Like, there's an amazing gift is given you by realizing more and more how the healing can take place because of you, because you accept that for yourself. You know your place in that. And like, by knowing your place in that, it is like, then you can allow things to be healed. And you can allow to extend it to others. Not that you are, well, we'll read about that, because it will give clarity. That's why I picked it out. That's why it came to me. When I read it, I had like, oh yeah, we really should use that today, because we're doing this. We have some insights. We had some experiences ourselves in healing. We've seen a lot of it. Now it's then how can we come together and speed this process up even more. And not that we need to go somewhere, but more like in the realization of having absolute clarity about things, certain things, so that you're not confused about them anymore. Because that's what you want in situations. You want to know your place in it, like in order for the situation or the occurrence to heal. And at least not disturb the healing. So yeah, it's interesting. See, the one thing that I came to mind was this too. I see this everywhere now, that people are giving, say, master classes. Like, you cannot give a workshop anymore. It needs to be called a master class, otherwise nobody signs up. See, and that's what I like about that you signed up for this. But see, the master class, if you would be a master at this, what we're actually teaching here, you would know that you need to do nothing. See, and that is, I cannot give you a certificate for that. It's like, no, that shows by just exemplifying that, by doing that, by being that, by knowing your place. And nobody needs to have confirmation in that. You see that work when you know it is a possibility. So that's the silent part of our coming together. It's like one of the best kept secrets. If you think that you have to announce yourself with credentials and all of that in order to be such a great healer, then I doubt it that you are. Because whom do you need to convince? You know, that's what I love about this. So it's like very truly humble and at the same time so incredibly effective. And I love you to share with me your experiences with that. Just to notice these occurrences and to actually confirm them in yourself again. It's like, oh my God, that actually happened. And this actually has, however that is for you. So that will be another opportunity later on in the class. So do I speak loud enough? Can you hear me easily? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Just want to make sure. So I will start with a little bit of the trust, since we are, having that as our topic today. So I'm directly going to the application in chapter 16, but that's more like, that's the way I think I can do this right now, just because I know who is here. So I start with this. What are the characteristics of God's teachers? The service traits of God's teachers are not at all alike. They do not look alike to the body's eyes. They come from vastly different backgrounds, and their experiences of the world vary greatly, and their superficial personalities are quite distinct. Nor at the beginning stages of their functioning as teachers of God have they yet acquired the deeper characteristics that will establish them as what they are. So this is the introduction, in case you didn't know. God gives special gifts to his teachers because they have a special role in his plan for atonement. Their specialness is, of course, only temporary, set in time as a means of leading out of time. These special gifts, born in the holy relationship toward which the teaching-learning situation is geared, become characteristic of all teachers of God who have advanced in their own learning. In this respect, they are all alike. Okay, so that mostly speaks for itself. So one part that you might say, like, okay, what is this about? Could be God gives special gifts to his teachers because they have a special role in his plan for atonement. So you remember the idea of atonement being the undoing, basically the undoing of you as a personality and becoming, say, allowing the light to step forward in the situations that are coming at you. So you're actually, by your demonstration, you're actually helping others too to do the same by exemplifying that, by showing that that's a possibility, or by by accepting that for yourself and seeing that at work. But the demonstration of that can be really something, like it's also part of this plan. So like the whole set of situations that you're involved in is like perfectly set up in the plan for salvation, for the atonement. Like all these situations that you have occurring in your life right now, and are it's like custom designed for you, for your undoing, not for your glorification, not for your who knows what idea you can have about it, not to acknowledge your enlightenment. No, this is for the undoing of you. So your enlightenment, which is still the path that you're following, the path of enlightenment is basically knowing exactly the place where you find yourself, what is your place in this whole story. Okay, so another part that you might consider thinking about is this. These special gifts born in the holy relationship toward which the teaching-learning situation is geared becomes characteristic of all teachers of God who have advanced in their own learning. In this respect, they're all alike. See, born in the holy relationship, that's really beautiful that we can share about that too. Because you see, when we come together, just in maybe a split second, suddenly you feel there's something going on, there's presence, there's communication going on. You naturally become quiet. You naturally dive into your inward, like in your, you go within and connect with that. See, then this is literally like joining as one for a moment, just having that occurrence, being in that communication, say valuing that communication more than anything, and that's why you're experiencing light and communication, which say also doesn't have any limit, so you can dive as deep into it as you want. So we're still okay, well, it is sure so you're invited to even dive deeper into it. That's always possible. Like, it's okay to be completely ecstatic. That's perfectly all right with me. I will join you in that too. It's great. Don't hold back. and it's really true. It's like, yeah, there is a celebration going on. You know, it's like it's on the other side of the river. And we're invited to come climb over the bridge to get there. And we're on the bridge when we meet. We really are. So it's literally like, it's not so far to get to the other side. It really isn't. But the invitation, you had the invitation. You have the invitation continuously. So it's always, you're always allowed to choose for that more than anything. Like, forget listening to me. Forget that you're in class. No, take that. If you feel that coming up, take that. Above all else, do that. Really, like, the rest absolutely does not matter. It has only the function to release the fear of getting to the other side of the bridge, in fact. You know? So that's just a gentle invitation. So I will not interrupt when you say being lifted up and hurled into reality. I will not disturb you. So anyway, so I want to mention this because it is like, well, this is what that is. So this coming together of us and meeting as one is in fact what that is. That is the holy relationship that we share. You know it. So, but I'm confirming these things for myself, for you, just to make sure that you know that this is what we're talking about. Like, this is how far you are in the process, that you actually can experience that and are not afraid of it, but even more like excited for it.